name's Quentin Lucas. I'm the mayor of Kansas City, and I am proud to stand with everyone today. Not because we aren't recognizing tragedies, but because we are honoring very special people in our community. We have lost too many young people over the years in Kansas City, but we are here today to make sure their families know that their lives are not forgotten, that their memories will be cherished, and that more than anything, all of us are working together to make sure that we prevent, that we stop, that we stand in the way, that we fight to ensure that no family has to know the tragedy of losing a child to violence. Today, as we begin construction, we're reminded of the stories of each of the names that are etched in stone here. I'm reminded of Legend Taliaferro, of Courtney Freeman, of Amari Hughes, of Erica Green, all who had futures that were denied, and all in families that were changed forever. One reason that we come here, that we have this park, that we recognize our young people, is to make sure that people know that these are not statistics. They are not numbers, they are not trends, they are people. And they are people who we are going to cherish and recognize for years to come. To the families who are here today, thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us. We thank you for allowing us to share the stories of your special loved one, and thank you for sharing their stories so that we may prevent violent crime, that we may prevent tragedies like those you have known. Once built, this memorial will serve as a call to action, reminding us to stay committed to ending the epidemic of violence in our community. It's why we're continuing to work on it each day. Focused deterrence, working with our community, our health department, our police department, our neighborhoods, Mr. Clark, Mr. Brooks, everybody who is part of it in each neighborhood of Kansas City, to make sure that we get to the point where we are not burying children in Kansas City, but we are not saying that 13 children have been lost already this year, and where we are able to build bright and positive futures for every child. The most important thing that we can do as a community is to protect our young people, and we have not been doing that. But what we can do today is not only ensure that we will recognize the young people we've lost, but also to ensure that we will work together to make sure that we prevent tragedies in the future. I want to particularly thank the council members from this district, the Mayor Pro Tem Raina Park Shaw, Councilman Darrell Carrolls, their predecessors, Lee Barnes and Alicia Kennedy, who have helped us get to the point where we have this recognition in this park. I want to thank the Board of Parks and Recreation Commissioners. You'll hear from their president, Beth Hayden, here in a moment, who will make sure that here at Hibbs Park, we have a monument to so many wonderful people who are denied the right to live a full and complete life. And more importantly, though, I want to thank everybody in our community. I'm a child of this community. There are a whole bunch of people who made it so I could be where I am today. We need to continue to fight violent crime as a community as well. I remember being a kid listening to Mr. Brooks on the Hot 8 at 8, on Hot 103 Jams, talking about how we could try to stay out of trouble.
Come home, Quentin. He had
an impact on my sisters. He had an impact on me. And he's had an impact on a lot of people over the years. I remember our church leaders and our neighborhood leaders who said, young man, you can do something special. One way that we prevent is that we build up. We build up our young people and we build up our communities. And not just the young people who are doing everything right. It's the young people who sometimes might be a challenge. You make sure you work with them, you make sure you inspire them. For our very, very young kids, we need to make sure that we are proud of them each and every day, that we know that they are so special and that we never stop sharing that message. So I thank you for all being part of this. Hopefully, as we come back each year and recognize the lives here, we have fewer and fewer people that we are talking about. We have fewer and fewer names etched in stone. And more than anything, we have a city where we can say that every child is safe. So thank you for being with us today. I will turn it over to somebody who has been a leader in violence prevention. That's our Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Raina Park Shaw.
What this is about really is about showing those mamas, those mamas, those big mamas, those daddies, those papas, that your loved ones, your babies who have been lost in our community will never be forgotten. And that while we can't fix the grief that you have, know that we are grieving with you. Know that we are working to do everything we can to ensure that we can reduce this number. Starting with our violence prevention fund that the council appropriated $30 million over 5 years last year, starting with the focused deterrence model that the mayor recently mentioned, also the recent KC United plan, where we have a vision for all of us working in lockstep, no matter who you are in the community, no matter what organization you represent, no matter what block you're on, no matter who you are, you can find yourself in this collective vision so that we can all work together to reduce and prevent crime in Kansas City. I believe that us working together, with all of us working lockstep, we can do that and we can succeed and have the safe, healthy community that we all know we deserve and want. With that, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Miss Teresa Perry, who worked for the better of 10 years to bring this to fruition. She, I know, made countless calls to my office and many other of my predecessors' offices, I think Councilman Curls as well, to ensure that we did not forget Miss Erica Green and her family, and that we made sure that this was done. She's not able to be here with us today, but I know she's watching, and just, Teresa, we're one step closer. With that, I will now bring forward Councilman Darrell Curls, 5th District at Large.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and thank you all for being here today. This is kind of like a twofold day. Unfortunately, we are here to memorialize children that have lost their lives. But it's also a good day because we are memorializing those children who've lost their lives. This is a place that's going to be here for years to come. And I am saddened that we have to do this, but I'm also glad that we do recognize and are going to memorialize those individuals that have lost their lives due to no cause of their own. This happens to be in the 5th District, which we represent, Mayor Pro Tem and myself. And not that that is a great thing to have this honor, but it is in the 5th District, and we're going to try to do everything that we can to make sure that those lives of these individuals that have lost their lives are going to be memorialized forever, and anybody else, any other child that happens to fall prey to senseless deaths of no making of their own are going to be memorialized in this park as well. This is the beginning. We'll be here for as long as it takes. We started this process. It's not going to end today. So I just want to recognize those individuals also that have put forth their blood, sweat, and tears to make this come to fruition. And maybe somebody's trying to tell me something, but I just want to make sure that we all don't forget, because that's what this is about. We will never forget, and we will always remember these lost lives that left us too soon.
As Councilman Curl said, my name is Beth Hayden, and I'm the president of the Parks and Recreation Board of Commissioners. I'd like to thank the Parks and Rec staff, who are led by Director Chris Cotton, for the department's continued commitment to the community, and especially their dedication to this project. I want to acknowledge my fellow commissioners, Pat Contreras, Michael Meyer, Stephen E. Smith, and DePriest Taylor, as well as those former commissioners who have all been involved in this project since its inception. This project has been a priority of the park staff, and most especially project manager Lisa Treese. While we often focus our energy here on increasing the recreational and fitness offerings within our parks, I am so grateful that Lisa and the park staff and the Parks Board saw the need for a peaceful space where our youngest residents who have lost their lives due to violence can be remembered, honored, and missed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and other council people, and particularly the families of those who have lost loved ones. We're really here because on the 28th of April 2001, the lifeless body of a baby was found right over there, just a few hundred yards from here. Headless. The morning that Sergeant Bernard and others called, I came out and we prayed. Later on, they found her head, where she was able to be identified. And it's interesting that as we were passing out flyers at Ad Hoc Against Crime, the mother of Precious Doe marched with me and said, "Mr. Brooks, I hope we find out who she is." That this was the mother of Erica Precious Doe Green. How heartless and that is to me today, a few years later. So we're here because of Erica Green. And also I want to thank Councilman Ellington and Robinson, who put kayak money here at the insistence of Teresa Perry. So everybody else who supported that. The importance of our being here today is that we build on the legacy of Erica Precious Doe Green. There are a lot of other Erica Precious Doe Greens out there that are being neglected today, that are still here with us. And the question becomes, what will we do with those young folks, those families within this community? I hope and pray that our presence here today is beyond just building this monument on behalf of all the children, but more specifically Precious Doe. And it's up to all of us. You've heard too often that whole bit that it takes a village to raise a child. It does. The question becomes, where is the village today? Where are the big mamas and uncle this and uncle that who look after our young people? So we have to take those places today. So I hope and pray that our coming together today, it all started right here with Precious Doe, 28th of April, 2001. So I congratulate all of you for being here. Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman Curls, and others who continue this effort to make sure that this is more than just a monument, but a place of peace and tranquility, in spite of those names who appear. In spite of that. So we hope that it'll be a place that people come just to pray with their children, to bring their children, let them know what these names mean. In the eyes of a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor, a friend will not allow your name to be listed among those. That's what I believe. Sometimes I like to end with a poem by the late Dr. Benjamin Mays, president of that great institution we'll call Morehouse in Atlanta, Georgia, of black men. It's called God's Minute. Dr. Mays says, only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. It was forced upon me. I didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I will suffer if I lose it. I must give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. My brothers, my sisters, that's what life is. That minute becomes our alpha and our omega, our beginning and end. The question becomes, what will we do while we still have our minute? Do it for the children.
Hi, my name is Sharon Powell. I am Legend Tyler Farrell's mother. My baby was very loving, honest, and he was an exciting kid. He was definitely a handful at times, but he lit up every room he walked in. This is a bittersweet moment. It will hurt to see my son's name. It will hurt to see my son's name listed, but I'm happy he will never be forgotten. My family and I appreciate the community for helping us keep his name alive. And to my son, Mommy misses you, and thank you so much for watching over me and keeping me strong. I love you. You are always my living legend.
Hi. Good afternoon, guys. I'm Sherry West. I'm Pamela Butler's mother. In 99 of October, she was kidnapped and murdered. To keep her, how do I even want to say it? It's hard to speak about losing your child. And the way to keep them alive is by having to do memorials like this, which we shouldn't have to do. I'm grateful that this is a memorial for the children for being murdered is being built, and so that the names can stay on it, and so that people can come and see and remember our children. it's a fight every day and a struggle every day to go through with this. And then to see on TV another child's lost their life. They're our future, and if we don't stop this, we're not going to have a future for our children. I just want to say I appreciate everybody, and thank you all for inviting me here. And to my girls, I love you very much. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Edith Duskin. I'm Wendy Spine's mom. Wendy started out being a Precious Doe Committee member. I never thought I'd have to be here talking on her behalf. She wanted to find out who Erica was. And I thank you all for making my little girl a part of Kansas City. She gave her all. She got to know everybody. She reached out. We reached out to Sherry. I just thank you for everything that Kansas City has done, that we stay together. And this monument, now I have to see her name on there. She'd be proud, because I know today she's here with us. I thank you, Kansas City. We're strong. We're in the middle of the United States. Let's show the world that we can keep our children safe. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michelle Norris. I am co-founder of Corey's Network. My child was older, so he won't be shown on this memorial. However, part of what Corey's Network does is we help provide funeral expenses for those that have been murdered. And unfortunately, too many of them have been under the age of 18. So each one of these that was named off earlier, we've helped bury that child. We've helped pay for their funeral expenses. And what's even sadder is we have an actual expense on our budget for children under the age of 12. We shouldn't have to have that in specific. We shouldn't have to say there's so many kids under the age of 12 that are being murdered. We need to have specific money just for them. This means a lot to me, to know that these children are going to be memorialized. But I stand with everyone else in that we need to stop anybody from being murdered, especially the ones that are supposed to be the parents of next generation, and the grandparents and the great-grandparents. For every one murdered child, you are murdering 1,000 individuals, because you think of every generation that they were supposed to give birth to. And that is a slaughter. Just one child is a slaughter. And we deserve better for Kansas City. They deserve better. Their parents deserve to be grandparents. I'm a grandparent. Anyone out there that's been a grandparent, you understand. They deserve that choice, that ability to be a grandparent and to love their babies. So I thank you for being here, and I will turn it back over to the mayor. And please, once this is built, and by the way, we're going to keep coming out here until it is. Once it's completely built, please come back out. And if you've lost a loved one to homicide under the age of 18, this is for you.
Thank you all for being here, particularly the families. And I noticed there are many behind us. There are also many out in the crowd. We're thinking about you all the time. In particular, we have children in this crowd. And we are thinking about all of you being able to grow up, save this world, and as you had noted, make sure Kansas City is a leader in our country and our world in keeping kids safe. Thank you for being here, and we'll proceed to the groundbreaking now.